To run, to rejoice, to embrace every moment that comes your way. It's your life, and it's our passion to care for it. Sanford Health. Health lives here.
Sioux Falls companies turn to an untapped labor resource to fill open positions. How this job fair is connecting employers with inmates. People in Sioux Falls gather to remember the collapse of the Berlin Wall 30 years ago. Why they're drawing attention to less visible walls that still exist today. And a new movie about World War I debuts in Sioux Falls today. We'll introduce you to the creative force behind the Great War. Good morning. This is KELOLAND on the go with all you need to know in news and weather as you start your Sunday morning. We also have an exciting list of boredom busters coming up for you. But first, our top story. Some Sioux Falls businesses are turning to the South Dakota Penitentiary for help in filling job openings.
I was really intrigued and excited that the penitentiary is putting on a second chance program. And so part of it's out of curiosity. The other part is that we are hiring and looking for talented people.
The Sioux Falls Development Foundation and the Department of Corrections hosted this job fair at the penitentiary on Saturday. The goal is to connect companies with inmates looking for jobs once they're released. The companies are also directing inmates to vocational training opportunities. The South Dakota Synod of the Evangelical Lutheran Church in America commemorated the 30th anniversary of the fall of the Berlin Wall by drawing attention to symbolic walls that still exist in the world today. The Synod hosted this service of remembrance Saturday in Sioux Falls, led by Bishop Constanza Hagmeyer, who grew up in West Germany and watched the Berlin Wall fall when she was 19 years old. She says 30 years later, divisions remain between people and countries, and that breaking down these barriers is an ongoing process. Well, with much colder temperatures and snow in the forecast, the South Dakota Department of Public Safety is reminding people to be prepared when you're on the road today. That includes slowing down, watching out for other drivers, and always wearing your seatbelt. Also, don't use cruise control on snow or ice-covered roads. Make sure your cell phone is fully charged and pack a winter safety kit. That should include blankets, extra clothing, a shovel, a flashlight, energy bars, and first aid items. Well, let's get the latest on the changing weather conditions. Here's meteorologist Grant Smith in the Storm Center. Good morning, Grant.
Well, good morning, Perry. Yes, we have some very cold air moving in, and as it swaps out the warmer air mass that was in place yesterday, we're seeing some snow moving in from the north. Already starting to see some of that snow on our live cam. So there's the big picture. It's not just KELOLAND that's being affected by this much colder air mass. KELOLAND itself, though, 15 to 30 degrees below average, and that colder air stretches into North Dakota and in Montana. And that's where we're also seeing the band of snow moving through. Winter weather advisories, winter storm warnings have been issued for this. And in western South Dakota, we're seeing a winter weather advisory in effect through tonight for snowfall amounts upwards of 1 to 4 inches. The higher end of that will be near the Black Hills, gusty winds, and as temperatures are floating around freezing, there is some concerns for icing. But temperatures today will be best case scenario steady, but more likely falling throughout the day as that cooler air settles in. We'll talk about the rest of today's forecast, including the snow, the cold, the clouds, and the warmer 7-day here in just a few minutes.
All right, thank you very much, Grant. Well, Cinema Falls is presenting a World War I movie with a South Dakota connection. Premiering later today at the Orpheum Theater, The Great War was directed by Pier native Stephen Luke and was filmed in Minnesota. Based on true events, the film tells the story of an Army lieutenant who led a platoon of U.S. troops behind enemy lines to rescue a squad of African-American soldiers during the final days of World War I.
It's really cool to kind of be able to show people a moment in time that happened 100 years ago in this film and be able to kind of have them live that experience that those guys would have experienced 100 years ago. It's very cool. Yeah.
The doors open at the Orpheum Theater at 4 o'clock. The movie begins at 5. A question and answer session follows at 6:45. Tickets are $13.50. Rudy M. Navarrette's Tex-Mex is hosting Holiday Soul for Kids. When you eat at the Sioux Falls restaurant from today through December 15th, your $1 donation or more will go to purchase new sneakers for kids at the Boys and Girls Clubs of the Sioux Empire. High Plains Woodwinds presents their fall concert, American Made. The free performance is at 2 o'clock at Peace Lutheran Church in Sioux Falls. The Dakota Academy of Performing Arts presents a musical version of Treasure Island. The performance is at 2 o'clock at the Washington Pavilion. VFW Post 628 is serving an all-you-can-eat pancake breakfast from 8:30 to 12:30. The cost is $6, $2 for children. The Irene Holiday Fair features 3 dozen vendors selling items in the Irene School Gym from 10:30 to 3. Get your picture taken with Santa Claus from noon to 1:30. Admission is free. American Legion Post 128 in Hudson is hosting its 82nd annual Turkey Shoot and Dinner at the Hudson Memorial Building. Activities include a trap shoot, bingo, and games. The turkey supper will be served from 4:30 to 7. Grant.
All right, quick reminder, we got some very cold air in the way of KELOLAND moving in, teens and 20s early this morning. Likely going to be seeing falling temperatures, north winds 10 to 20 miles per hour, at least 15 to 25 mile per hour winds in the west. That's why there's that winter weather advisory in effect today. So wind chill will be a factor this morning. Wind chills are in the single digits and teens, and it's really going to be a factor as we head over the next 24 to 36 hours. So Viper 3D showing that snow moving in from the north this morning, starting to fill in the northeast. But it's some light snow. The snow machine picking up on about a trace to 1 inch of snow per hour, and so our live cam still can see about pretty good. So it's just some light snow moving in. But snowfall amounts are estimated from the radar upwards of about 1 inch or so in the northern counties. Lighter amounts the farther to the south and east. I'm sure we'll get actual snow reports as we go throughout the day today and especially into tomorrow morning. Snow filling in the west as well. Also seeing the same story. Trace to 1 inch per hour snowfall rates on snow machine. So of course snowfall amounts just a trace or so. So your forecast for today, futurecast, there you can see the snow moving in from the north. It's going to be a cloudy, snowy day, but if you were in the south, say right along I-90 and south, your best chance to see the snow will be this afternoon, and it will last through the afternoon, exiting the area of this evening. Notice the southwest, though, still seeing that snow last well into the evening hours and then coming to an end during the overnight. High pressure system settles in. That should help push out the clouds, push out the snow, but it's also going to bring in some very cold air for your Monday. Looking at temperatures in the teens and 20s tomorrow, underneath a lot of sunshine. So your snowfall amounts, just imaginary draw a line from Aberdeen to Huron and Mitchell. If you are east of that line, snowfall amounts less than 1 inch. And then if you are west of that line, broad brush 1 to 2 inch snowfall amounts, with spotty areas getting just a little bit more. The southern Black Hills also could see a little bit more. The computer models here, the risk of 1 inch of snow, high risk of 1 inch in the west, slight risk in the Huron to Mitchell, Sioux Falls, Worthington, and northwestern Iowa areas. But the next threshold, 3 inches of snow, the computer models kind of been isolating the southern Black Hills at getting a little bit more than everywhere else. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see some 3, 4, even 5 inch snowfall amounts coming in from the southern Black Hills. So a quick summary of today: cold, cloudy, and snowy conditions. The winds about 10 to 20 miles per hour at least. The occasional stronger wind gusts tonight. Decreasing clouds overnight. Snow this evening. Temperatures falling to the single digits to lower teens. And then tomorrow, mostly sunny to sunny skies, but very cold, teens to 20s. And the winds will be kind of breezy and gusty. So the wind chill will be a factor tomorrow afternoon. But if you are not a fan of the cold weather, then you're going to enjoy the second half of the 7-day as temperatures return to the upper 30s to 40s for the Sioux Falls area. Another chance for rain and even some rain-snow mix on Wednesday, but it's going to be a light event, just a few hundredths of an inch kind of moisture. Snowfall amounts less than 1 inch if we see any accumulations. Aberdeen also returning to the 40s on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Pierre pushing 50 degrees by Saturday, but 40s beginning on Wednesday. Western South Dakota could see the 50s returning as early as Tuesday, and they stay in the upper 40s to lower 50s to finish out the 7-day.
Well, thank you for joining us for KELOLAND on the Go. You can get up-to-the-minute developments right here on KELOLAND.com. Have a great day.